Hey everyone, this is Victor from Cyborg for Life, and I want to welcome you to episode 166 of Limb Lengthening Live, where the patients interview the guests. And today we're going to do another topic of discussion, which is basically going to be about the return on investment and benefits from limb lengthening surgery. So this kind of came up in one of the consultations that I had recently. A patient was basically asking, is it worth it to go through limb lengthening? And then he was also asking, like, if I don't get the height that I want, is it going to be, worth it in the long term? And I had to kind of go a little bit deeper and ask him, like, what does it mean to you? What do you want from limb lengthening? And that kind of brought up a whole, discussion about, what do patients really seek from limb lengthening surgery? I think it's pretty interesting because, if you're getting it done for a deformity correction or discrepancy fix, it's pretty clear, right? You just want to get your imbalance corrected so you don't have any pain, and you do get some height back from that, as I can attest to. But if you're getting it done for cosmetic limb lengthening, or another term is stature lengthening or whatever, height increase, then there's a whole plethora of different reasons why patients would like to get cosmetic limb lengthening done. And I think that's what we're going to talk about today. I didn't actually have any guests planned for today, so I did put the join link below the video. So if you want to join and you are a former limb lengthening patient and you have recovered, or you're in the consolidation phase, or you have noticed some sort of benefit from the surgery, feel free to join. Feel free to share your experience and your testimonial. But we're just going to kind of talk about it. I'm just going to throw some ideas out there. So first and foremost, we know that this surgery is a very costly surgery, both financially. It takes a lot of time and energy and effort to kind of get through the whole process. So the next question is basically, do you want to kind of go through all that to kind of even get through the process? And then, what does it mean to you to basically, what are you looking for to get out of limb lengthening? Whether I know I didn't want to really say this, but a lot of people who get this done subconsciously, it's for dating or, finding a romantic partner. Some people, it's because of the social perception, right? They feel like they're the shortest guy in the room, shortest girl in the room, and they don't like that, whether it's their workplace, their social environment, their family events and meetups, whatever have you. It's very pressuring to them to feel like they want to kind of match that inner feeling of who they really are with their external appearance. So I think that's one tangible benefit of limb lengthening, is like, if you do it, and I think that we all do something for someone, whether it's subconsciously, we don't know it. Don't get me wrong, you always want to do stuff for yourself. But if we lived in a world where there was nobody else there, I'm sure that not many people would go ahead and pay $100,000, break your legs, and try to get 3 inches taller or whatever. If you're doing quadrilateral lengthening, 5 inches taller. So I think that this consultation that I was talking to this patient, he initially was talking about getting 3 inches, and he was one of the taller patients. I think he was like 5 foot, 10-ish, and he wanted to break that. He was like the main guy, and I thought it was pretty interesting because it goes to that term that I mentioned in one of my past videos called the halo effect. And I think that height being a very objective attribute, it does give the person who has a taller stature that halo effect. And it's pretty interesting because whether you're like super handsome or good looking, or you have a lot of muscles, or you have, I'm basically describing myself, I'm just kidding, no. Or you are super tall, or have a lot of money, or a lot of fame, or whatever it is, I think that does give you a halo effect, and it gives you a lot of like kind of attractiveness, or that charisma, that pull. And height is one of those objective attributes. So the taller you are, you can walk into almost any room and the doors almost open up for you, the red carpet's rolled out for you. And I think that's pretty interesting. So yeah, so let's see. So there's not many people in the stream today. I guess not many people I think, you know what it is, a lot of people have been going through the surgery. I just got I should have asked him to come on, but he's in Germany. You guys know Johannes. He literally just sent me a cool video, and I'm not going to share because I didn't ask for his permission yet, but he's doing shadow boxing and he looks incredible. and I think he may be planning to get his next segment done. Now, if you guys know, Johannes did, his femurs for about, I think it was like 10 centimeters. So he did do a lot of length. He did have some tightness of his IT bands, but he recovered and he got through it and he got a lot of height out of it. And he has noticed a lot of benefits. So he's one person I would like to bring on to talk about that, but it was kind of like a today type of thing. So I can't really get him on. But if anybody in the, who's watching, or if anybody who wants to share their experience on that, or else I'm just going to talk literally for about 15 minutes of some different, points about it. And then I'm going to roll because I have to pick up my dog from getting grooming anyway. But yeah, I think that like going down to more, I had a few bullet points here. Let me pull up my notes. So I said, yeah, so social perception, dating, relationships, workplace presence. If you're a professional figure, like if you're in the entertainment space, or you have like a political role, I think that it does have some big benefit, because right now in the day and age that we live in, height basically, whether you're doing online dating, a lot of times is a qualifier for, somebody to kind of be interested in you. Or if you're going for a job interview, sometimes out of two candidates, the taller one will naturally just get that nudge or that second look almost subconsciously. It's kind of just the way it is. Like I said, the halo effect is it makes that person have like the little halo over the person's head, like, oh, you're the angel, let me pick you, you're the right one. It's kind of crazy. It's kind of hard to explain, but we live in a society where height is a powerful attribute. So I think that's why people go through this, because some people say that they want to do it for themselves, but like, I think it was Nailed Legs who we had him on way back when he says that we all do something for someone. And it was so powerful when he said that. And I think that's so true. To some degree, we always do something for ourselves, like we eat to live. But I don't know. I think it's a pretty interesting topic. So let me, oh, we got PsychMan here. Hey man. Hey Vic, interesting topic. Looking forward to hearing people. Yeah, I think so. I think it would be interesting. What's your opinion on it, PsychMan? Are you doing it because I know that you said that you were of shorter stature. I think, I can't remember your height, but I think it's below average. And you said you wanted to do it, but you're doing it for yourself, I believe. But I want to dig a little deeper. Is it just for yourself, or do you feel like, hey, I've been the shortest guy in the room before and I don't want to be that person? Because technically that ripple affects out a little bit further into the area where you start doing it a little bit for the social environment, right? And it's perfectly fine because, like I said, we all do something for someone. But anyway, oh, you're trying to join? Okay, great. That'd be awesome to have you come on. Um, Here he is. All right, we got PsychMan himself.
Oh, okay.
What's up, brother? How are you? Good, good. How's your summer going?
Summer's over.
Summer's over. Why do you say that?
I work at a school and the kids start back next week.
Oh, really? What? That's super early. Like, what kind of school is this?
I agree. Grad school, med school.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah, grad school. We had to start like early August. So that's crazy, man.
Oh, it hurts. Last 2 days of freedom.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Well, thanks for coming on. I just wanted to kind of bring up this topic. I thought it was really interesting because, like, I think that it's kind of the underlying issue for a lot of people who get this surgery done, right? Like, it's like, why are we doing this? Like, what are the benefits? What's the ROI that I'm going to get by paying this money, breaking my legs, going through this pain, going through this long recovery process? And I think that, it kind of stops you in your tracks and makes you think, like, why am I doing this? It's almost like me when I ask myself, like, why am I dieting for 7 months to get down to subliminally low body fat percent levels where I'm like, like I can barely stand at the end of the night. I'm like, I'm hungry. Why am I doing this? But it's a championship. I'm chasing it. And actually, you know what? Scotty Scheffler, he just won a big, what did he win on Saturday? I forgot what it was. And he said, you catch him after he won the golf event. Again, I don't follow golf too closely, but I was watching it in the background, was working. And he says, why am I chasing this championship? Like, why am I doing this? It doesn't even make sense that I'm, training for this competition my whole entire life. And I completely was empathetic with him because I was like, why am I chasing this bodybuilding title? And then it's like, you take it and you apply it to a limb lengthening patient. Like, why am I doing this cosmetic procedure? So I want to kind of get your take on that and then kind of let you talk about that for a little bit.
every once in a while I have that same thought. Um, because when I tell some people, what I inevitably get is why, and I think what they're really asking is why you.
Mm.
Um, that because I know I keep bringing up the age, but I'm older than most, 50, and so with this, I've decent career or good career, got a partner, all of that. So why now? So I get it with the 20-year-olds because there's a thought of, well, if I do this now, I've got so much longer to reap these benefits. And also, when you're in your 20s, you don't have an established career. You're still trying to figure out who you are. You maybe haven't learned as well to navigate the world being at a shorter stature. And 20 now is very different than 20 when I was 20. um, so I know it sounds kind of cliche, but when uh, when you say I'm doing it for myself, like I don't have anybody else to do it for. Like I've got really nothing to prove
Yeah.
at this point. And so yeah, it is. I believe it is completely for me.
I love that. And I think that for you, because like you said, you're established now. You have a lot of the things in your life that you were, you're aspiring for. And I've talked to a good handful of patients who are in their 50s and 60s who wanted to get this and have gotten it done. And one thing that I've noticed, like, for example, I'm thinking of one guy in particular. I think he's in his mid to late 50s, and he got it. He got the full 3 inches. And what was really interesting is that he had the money, he had the family, he had the career, he had all that, right? Like he was good, but he was 5'7", and then I think that he went to 5'10", 5'10" and a half or something, and then with shoes he could break the 6-foot barrier. And one thing that he would always do, he'd always send me like pictures of him with his family and, next to his like siblings, like his brother and his dad. And he just shows me like, hey, I'm walking up to this guy and, I feel so much taller and much better and like more relieved about my height. I don't feel that. And I think it goes to having a little bit of an insecurity, right? And not even like a bad insecurity, like, because for me, I'll admit, like when I was going through, like before I started bodybuilding and working out, I did have an insecurity. I remember one event, it was like when I was a kid, and I wouldn't say I was traumatized, but like one of my brother's friends was like making fun of me. He's like, hey, little pissqueak, or you're so small, and like just mocking me for like being small and scrawny. And I was like, okay. And then I remember another event, growing up, like people just kind of mocked me for my small size. I was like 138 pounds in freshman year of high school. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to show the world. And, eventually got myself built up. And I think that there's small little triggers, and they could be small little triggers that compound over time in our lives that kind of, like I said, subconsciously build up to let us do something. Like maybe not now, you don't have anything to prove to anybody, but maybe back then you did, and your old past self wants to. There was Rial who was on this podcast many times.
Oh
And
yeah.
you remember Rial? He's a
Oh
classic
yeah.
case. Yeah. And he has said several times, he's like, now I got the family, I got, the kids, I got the business, I got everything. Like he's got the money. It's not that he's established. But he says, when I was growing up, I had it really hard. It was an uphill battle. I had to really work hard, extra hard, to get what I have than guys who were taller than me. And I think that he has gone through a lot. And even though he didn't have to, he can't go back in time and change anything. He almost wanted to prove it to himself that, like, like he said, doing it for himself, but then there was a reason why he did it. Because like, I don't know. I'm torn on people doing it for themselves. Absolutely. I believe that. But then there's a small sliver of, subconscious that means that, hey, we live in a world where there's a lot of other people. And I don't know. PsychMan. That's just my thoughts. So yeah.
Hey, so when you said you were in high school, you say your freshman year, you were in your 130s?
Yeah, it was crazy, man. I was a small kid. I was all I was doing when I was in elementary
Oh,
school was eating oatmeal cream pies and sitting on the couch.
okay. So in freshman year in high school, I was in the 80s.
Eights like 80s?
Yeah.
Really?
Oh my. I looked like this.
Oh my gosh, man.
So, and I didn't like that.
Yeah.
Like, clearly, like who would? So yes, so you're short and you can hide behind a stop sign.
Yeah.
So not cool. And so after a while, I decided to do something about it.
Okay.
And I've always been the type of, okay, so if I can do something, if I can work my way through this, whatever this is, that's cool. I mean, I might start at the back, but I'm fine with putting in the work.
Mhm.
Not a problem. Okay, with this, there's nothing you can do
Yeah.
or nothing you could do. Okay, it's going to hurt. It's going to cost a lot of money. I'm fine with putting in the work.
Mhm.
Because you know, am I suffering from my height? No, I'm not. No, objectively, I'm not. Do I like it? Also, no.
Okay.
So, can I do something about it? The answer now is yes.
Yeah.
Okay, well then I will. And
Mm.
to me, it's kind of that simple. But I know that's not the case for everybody because you've talked to people on the show who are like really suffering from
Yes.
this.
Yes. Yes.
And and I who doesn't want to relieve suffering
Right. And
legally and safely?
I love that. I love that you said that because I've talked to several people who got this surgery done, several hundred people who've gotten this done. And I have to say that there's a few different categories of people. And I think you're on the spectrum where people are completely content with their lives, but they just want to enhance it, right?
Sure.
And get it to the level where to maximize it, right? And it's like people call it height maxing or whatever. It's like, hey, I can live life. I can go outside. I'm not going to be made fun of. I can go to the grocery store. It's like whatever. My height is what it is. It's it's a statistic. But if I can maximize that and be the best or that I can possibly be, I'm going to go ahead and do it. And then there's
Sure.
people on the other spectrum who, like you said, been traumatized and are suffering. Um, and whether it's mental, more mental than like physically suffering because they're not getting picked on anymore, or whatever, they still want to do something about it, right? And I think that that brings us to like this, this big, agreement between limb lengthening patients that hey, this is a transformative procedure and it can change your life, whether you are already established and it can get you to the next level, like going from let's say 5'10" to 6 foot. Do you get benefits? I think so, and we're going to talk about that in a second about the different height benefits for the
Mhm.
different classes, height statuses as I call it. But also for the guy who's of below average height going to average height or even still under average height, does his world change? Absolutely. And I think that you're 100% right. But some people who are suffering, they need that in their mind, they need to be giants because they have saw themselves as being traumatized as minuscule to or ridiculed as minuscule in the world from like other people who are
Mhm.
like looking down on them and condemning them and ridiculing them. So I think that there's a spectrum, and I think that this surgery is so powerful, and that's why I love it, because if it's done safely, obviously, and the patient puts in the work, it's super powerful. It's super the people who have like almost I've gotten on consultations a year after with some people and they've teared up like how much their life has changed, and it's pretty
Sure.
powerful. So, but yeah, man. So what I want to do right now is talk about the different height statuses and like what benefits each height status could potentially get for limb lengthening. And then we'll go ahead and answer some quick questions and we'll hop off. So PsychMan, how tall are you right now?
5'5".
5'5". Okay. So that's below average height. And I've talked to, I think there's like 4 different spectrum of patients that I've really talked to, like almost at the 5', 5'1", 5'2" mark. I'd say from 5 foot to 5'3". And then I'd say from like the 5'3" to 5'6". And then I'd say from the 5'6" to 5'9"ers. And then I'd say from the 5'9"ers to like 5'10.5", 5'11"ers who get this done. And there's different benefits for each person. So for you, what would your life look like if you gained? You would do. I think you were to go for quadrilateral, right?
Eh. Things happen. So it depends. If the max comes out, then maybe so. If it doesn't, I'm not a wheelchair person.
Got it.
We'll-
Yeah, yeah. So, what would your life look like if you gained 3 inches? You'd go 5'5" to 5'8". What do you envision your life as? Like, how would it be enriched from getting this surgery done?
Okay, so what would objectively change? Like from the outside, from other people, I don't know much that it would.
Okay.
Now, how would I feel? I think it goes back to, so I'm really doing this to me because I don't know, like, oh my gosh, I'm going to get a better job. And not like, that's not, I don't see that happening, you know? Um, but how would it feel not to be the shortest guy in the room? Well, it would feel great, you
Yeah.
know? What would it feel? Not that I get a lot of jokes because I don't, but every so often you do. And when it's something that I cannot work my way out of this, so what do you want me to do? You know?
Mhm.
What would it be like to not get that? That'd be nice too. Um, to just kind of feel average. I think, I mean, that's good. That would be the plus.
Gotcha. Gotcha. I love that. And you know, my business partner, the limb lengthening documentary that we're working on, we're moving along now. Rich Rotella, he said something, a line from the documentary. I'll steal it. I don't care if he says, but he says like, I'm not looking to be tall. I'm just looking to be average. And I
Mhm.
think that's so powerful because in this world, when you feel like, hey, look, I'm not even the standard. I just want to be the standard. I don't care if I blend in. I just want to blend in. I don't want to be like that sore thumb sticking out. And I think that makes sense for sure. But you know, like I said, I've talked to a lot of patients, and I think that the benefits that the guys who are below average height who get 3 inches or 5 inches if they do quadrilateral is their whole world shifts, right? So if they go from 5'1" to five, or if they're between the starting height of 5'1" to 5'4" and they get 3 inches, they're still considered below average. And I think that the world won't see them as tall. Obviously, it's just not going to happen. But they won't see them. I mean, they will feel completely different. And they
Sure.
don't see it like that before as a prospective patient. However, after getting it done, those are the guys who had the biggest change because their world has gone up 3 full inches, and that's a different planet. Okay, so I think the 3 inch increase, 8 centimeters, is a different planet. It's a planetary change if you want to kind of do power scaling talk.
Which is what I keep hearing people say. Like
Yeah.
some people that have been on the show before that I just kind of talk to now that I've done it, they go like, it is. They use the word planetary. I don't know why they keep using that word, but they do.
I
Like,
probably put it in on there. Yeah, no.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's a shift in plan. It's like, okay, that's pretty big.
It is. It
Um,
is.
and I guess no matter where you start, no matter where you end up, it's still 3 inches. Like
It's so great.
it is you have changed. You have done something that physically you're not supposed to be able to do.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So yeah, I can so see that for now. That's still true. Like if somebody that was 6'5" did it and then went 6'8", yes, you still gain 3 inches.
Right.
Technically, is it going to be a planetary change? My guess would be probably not.
I love that. I love that you brought
But
that
that's
up
my
because
guess.
yeah, because that's the other end of the spectrum. And let's talk about that for a second. It's like those guys, nobody's gonna know because they're already like a giraffe, and like, you know, maybe somebody who's 6'11" or, you know, rest his soul, Hulk Hogan, he just passed away today, who's 6'7", you know, who was 6'7". If he was 6'7" and somebody's 6'5" going up to 6'8", he would notice that. He's like, oh, you got taller. But we won't because we're so far below
Right.
looking up, right? Like it's like, oh, okay. So you know, so that's one thing. But then somebody who's, let's say, 5'6" to that 5'9" range, I completely believe that somebody goes from 5'6" or 5'7" to 5'9" or 5'10", now going from below average to average.
Right.
I think that category gets the biggest ROI, the biggest benefit. And not to like height shame anybody else in the other categories, because we'll talk about them in a second, but like I think those guys get the biggest change because they're going from below average to average. Now they can kind of blend in. They're not going to get made fun of as much or whatever. Because I still get height jokes, and I'm you know, average, give or take. My like a 6'4" gym friend might say, "Hey, shorty," or whatever. Like it's whatever.
I
But
was going to say that to
you know,
everybody.
but yeah, but he's just saying that because he's a skyscraper, right? But but I think that, you know, to go to average and to be able to blend in, now you don't feel that. I think the term that I like to use is subconscious insecurity. Like it's like you don't yourself deem it as an insecurity, but deep down subconsciously you feel like, why do I feel that vibe? Like I don't feel comfortable with this feeling of being shorter than average. And it's so weird. It's hard to explain, but I kind of got this vibe from people when I've talked to a lot of patients. And I think that by those guys who are 5'5", 5'6", going to 5'8" or 5'9", or even, a little bit more closer to that average with shoes, your average, they get the biggest benefit. They have now kind of secured their stature in the world. And if they want to go for tibias and do like a little bit more, more power to them. And then you talk.
Subconscious is being generous.
Yes.
That's not subconscious. You know when you walk up next to somebody, you're the shorter guy, and you don't subconsciously plop down $100,000 and break your legs. Like you know what's going on.
Right. You just don't want to kind of vocalize it and kind of put it out there explicitly. I agree with you. And I think that the subconscious term comes because, that's just something they don't want to like say outright, because we all keep internal thoughts in.
Sure.
But then there's that next category, PsychMan. Like we have the guys who are like average 5'8"ers or 5'9"ers. And they want to go, like I said, in the US, I think the average goes up a little bit. It's like 5'9.5", 5'10". But let's just say 5'8", 5'9" with shoes, the right shoes, you can be average. But those guys who get limb lengthening done, we're just using the standard 8 centimeter gain, like the people who want to get full 3 inches on their femur. They go from 5'8" or 5'9" to close to 5'11" or 6 foot. Now we're talking, hey, you broke that 6 foot barrier with shoes or without shoes, whatever have you. Now I think you have went from average to above average, obviously, but you've also broken to a category, the 6 foot club, where you're now kind of seen as a kind of an unofficial authority, right? Because it's so weird, but like in the world that we live, at least in the United States, people who are over 6 foot seem to kind of get, like I said, doors opened, opportunities given, and red carpets rolled out for them without a whole lot of trouble. It's the way it is. It's kind of, I mean, I admit it, I'm not even 6 foot or anything like close to it, but like I just see that happening, and that people who are taller have a little bit of an easier time. And if anybody, I've seen my YouTube comments all the time that I can't even get to answer them all. Somebody's like, hey, I'm 6'2". I don't know why anybody in the world would ever want to get this done. I'm like, read your comment. like you're 6'2".
It's so amazing to see that.
Yeah.
Why would you want to do
that? Right. So I think that's super interesting. And then you have people who sometimes in the comments will say, hey, I'm 5'5" or 5'7", and I've never had trouble, getting a lady or, getting a job, or I could always defend myself. And I was like, okay, but have you ever been made fun of? Have you ever had a hard time? Have you ever wanted to be taller? Because those 3 questions, it's like, hey, okay, maybe the jokes didn't bother you, but did you ever want to be taller and maximize your height? And if he says there's a little blimp on the radar that just triggers in his brain and says, okay, what if you imagine yourself taller? And like, maybe you don't want to, maybe it's not worth it. And that's the thing. It's like, is it worth it? And what's the benefits and the ROI? Those are 2 separate questions, but they kind of are ambiguous in the way that they're interpreted. Because if you think about it, a lot of people are like, is it worth it? And what will I get from it? Because that's like any type of valuable exchange that we do, right? That's fair. Yeah.
And I'm sure, like you said, there are several shorter guys who, like, I'm telling you now, if I never did it, my life would be fine.
Yeah.
Absolutely. If you're gonna ask me, would you like to be taller? The answer is also yes. Like, who's gonna go, okay, so you make $80,000 a year. Your life could be fine. Do you ever wish you made 200?
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Are you willing to do what it takes to make 200? Maybe not. Maybe it's not worth it to you. Maybe you love what you're doing. You don't want to give the extra time. That's absolutely fine. The interesting thing is when people pile on and do the, well, what, you're crazy and all. Really? And I get where it comes from. Mostly it seems to come from a place of not knowing what it's all about. So I get that. Not a problem. And interestingly, the media, whenever they show this, they show the Elizarov method.
I know.
It's like, okay, so that you reached back 50 years to try to run. But that's TV and the media being TV and the media
The
and the
drama effect.
sensationalism, right? It's the
Absolutely.
drama of it.
Yeah,
I get it, and that's people being people and sensationalism being sensationalism.
absolutely.
Yeah, so it is what it is.
I love that. I love that what you just said. Literally, you just said that basically, like, hey, it's perfectly fine if you want to stay where you are. That's your decision.
Yeah,
But it's like some people want to maximize certain aspects of their life, and that's what this is all about. And it's like, what does the person really want? And that was the whole point of this discussion, to kind of basically come around and make it full circle and say, what does it mean to you? What matters to you? What do you want? And I'm not talking to you directly. I'm just saying that to,
no,
figuratively. It's just like, as a patient or prospective patient, if you want to get taller and it's something that you just want for yourself, more power to you. There's going to be a lot that you have to do that, because this is the only real way to do it, until some futuristic method comes out. And I will be shooting a video on that soon.
the cyborg nail.
Yeah, the cyborg now, and there's or alternative growth techniques out there. I know people have been sending me like ridiculous amount of research papers I have to go through, but about reactivating the growth plates and whatnot. But it's I know, nothing conclusive as of yet, but me and my Cyborg Labs are working on it. But what you said about like, hey, look, if you make 80 grand and it's like you're completely happy with that, great. If you want to make 200 and you want to live a little bit more lavishly, then that's also great. It's like, what do you want? And yeah, that pretty much is like really what it is. But I just want everybody to kind of know that there are two different questions when you're thinking about limb lengthening surgery, and is it worth it, and what will you get from it? So as a prospective patient, if I can leave you with one thing, it's like, think about those two questions before you even start your research process into this. Because you have to think, because I've talked to parents, I've talked to patients, I've talked to family friends on consultations with the people who want to get it done, and they're trying to convince them. And it's kind of hard to convince somebody unless you have true conviction about why you want to do something, right? Like, if you're a salesperson, the number one thing to be a good salesperson is conviction. You have to believe in what you're selling. So if you're trying to convince other people, you have to believe it yourself. So if you don't have a strong enough reason why, they're not going to believe you. They're not going to want to even talk to you, right? So you have to believe 100% that the reason why you're getting limb lengthening done is going to have some sort of noticeable change or effect in your life that's going to be greater than the risk that you take getting it done, or worth more the risk of you getting it done, right? Because there's complications, there's money, there's time, there's a lot of recovery that goes into this. And if you're not willing to do that, then I tell you right now, don't do it, because it's not, we're not at a place in this field yet where the advancements are great enough that you're gonna have an easy ride. It's not there yet. Like, maybe you don't get as much post-surgical pain, maybe your recovery's better, maybe your bone healing's faster, maybe you're one of those elite level patients, but you're still going to have some sort of investment and recovery for it. It's not like, hey, I'm going through the drive-through, blink my eyes, snap my fingers, and get taller. So,
are you willing to put in the work?
Exactly. So, we have MD on the show. What's up, MD?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, man. Good. So he's been sending me a lot of stuff about wanting to do a documentary lately. I thought it's super funny, and then he sent something today that was super hilarious. But yeah, long story short, guys, like MD, like what we're probably going to do with what he was talking about. So he wanted to do kind of like a patient resource of kind of like show them how to do different things and what happens during the lengthening process. What we might do is kind of like bootstrap different patient videos and stuff. He has some stuff and other people have some stuff where basically we can put together like a playlist on my channel where like it shows a patient doing different things during lengthening. And I think it would kind of be like, oh, this is how a patient kind of opens the door or cooks for themselves or gets to the toilet. Because there's things all over the internet that are kind of bootstrapped, and I wouldn't mind hosting like a little playlist like that. So MD, I think that could work better than a full-on documentary like you were talking about, because to get a film crew and this, that, and the other post-production.
I just want to come for just jealous of JP's documentary.
I don't even know if that was, I would call that a news segment for what he had. What me and Rich are working on is more of a documentary, but anyway.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, no, I thought it was a documentary. He's my favorite actor in Canada, so I just want to be like him.
Yeah. That's awesome. But
Brett showed how he opened the door was pretty cool. That time he was live.
Yeah.
Got a little thing. I'll do this, and then I turn this.
Yeah. Speaking of Brett, he actually sent me some some really cool. He's got his mile time down to I think 13 something minutes. So he's moving pretty well. And if you guys don't remember, it was last July that he had his second quadrilateral lengthening surgery. So to be running like a 13 something minute mile, it's pretty good. So yeah, so that's pretty much the discussion that I want to have today. I wanted to kind of run through some of these Q&A questions for about 10 minutes, and then I actually kind of have to kind of go to Costco a little early, like around 7:30ish, because I want to get there before they close up the. Anyway, pick up my dog from his groomer. Okay, so what are we doing? Let's see. MD, do you have anything to contribute? Like, why did you get limb lengthening done? Let's ask you that question, because you actually did do it right now.
I mean, it was really bothering me, so I think I had to do it done. It was bothering me for like 20 years, so
got it.
Not. I think I tried to hop on earlier, but like I was listening to you guys, like for sure, it's not like a snap decision. It's something that you work up for a long time, and definitely not the technology is there. Like it's very good, but it's definitely not something you just do because you want to.
Well,
randomly.
I got to stop you right there, because maybe you know, but I've talked to like I said, hundreds of patients, and there's patients who have seen a video from one of the flashy marketing places, and they're like, "Oh, that looks cool. I want to get it done." They consult with me. They're like, "I just found out 2 weeks ago that this thing is it possible? I want to pay the money and get it done." I'm like, "Whoa, there." So there are those people. Believe me, they look at it 2 weeks later, they're ready to do it. So there are those.
I mean, for me, like since I've been wanting it for so long, and I thought this is easier than I ever imagined it to be. Like, it's super easy for me so far, but if you're just a normal person that just saw it, you're going to be handicapped for a year. It's a huge amount of money, and it's not for. I mean, you're going to be handicapped for quite a long time. So it's not for the regular guy or girl, I don't think, unless you've been thought about it very deeply. So.
I agree with you. I think there's a lot that goes into it. And I think that it starts at those two questions. And I thought that's why this topic of discussion was pretty interesting, because it's like, if you can answer those two questions, like I said with the PsychMan earlier, it's like, okay, are you willing to go through, is it worth it? And then is like, what is the ROI that you're chasing? And if that ROI or that benefit that you're chasing is greater than the reason of, like I said, risk or investment or whatever have you, then it makes sense. And I said that way back, I think on my first video or two, I was like, if the risk of you going through limb lengthening is worth it, then it makes sense.
I would say 100,000% it's worth it for me.
Exactly.
I don't know what else I would do without, like, this is the most amazing thing in the world for me. So
wow, that's crazy.
That's awesome. I love
that's awesome. Me too, because he's going through it right now, and it's not easy. And for him to say that while he's going through it, the day after, like 2 hours, I woke up with broken legs. I was the happiest person in the world. I was literally high off just anesthesia, and also just high of finally getting it done. I was trying to impress the nurses, hitting on. I was like completely happy doing dips on my walker with broken legs, trying to walk around. I was so happy, and now now I can see the benefit, because I'm 7 centimeters in right now, right? Just finished my dissection.
Oh wow, that's great.
That's great.
An hour ago, hit 70 millimeters, and in terms of I'm in Montreal, Canada now, so I'm either taller than the average person now, definitely average, but I think I'm a bit taller than average. So I mean, it's incredible. Yeah,
that's so cool that you said that, because I've always asked patients when they're so scared and nervous and anxious before they get it done, but the second they get it done, they're like, oh, there's a sense of relief. And I said, there's a light switch, right? Like that kind of turns up. I don't think it's fully a flick of a switch right when they get it done, but there's a big dimming, right? Like, let's say that you were thinking about your height for a long time, and and it's been bright lights, and all of a sudden when you get it done, there's a big dimming. Like, it's like, whoa, big relief. Then it gets dimmer and dimmer the further you get into the lengthening, and then it's completely turned off once you consolidate and get back to recovery. So it's kind of like a process. That's why it's a process. That's why I say that. It's a journey. But I will tell you, right after the surgery is done itself, there's a huge relief for the patients who it really did mean something to. So that's so cool to hear you say that, because you're actually going through it. All right, so let's go ahead and go into the live Q&A, and I'll throw these to you guys. So PsychMan, we have this first one from Eric. He's saying, I have a question about the opposite end. Can this lower your lifespan? 1, because it is taxing on the body to recover so much. 2, because of now the same size heart has to pump harder to a longer body. What do you think, PsychMan?
Huh. Interesting. So I mean that from what I've read, take that for what it's worth. I mean, I see where his point comes from. Are 3 inches going to make that much of a difference? You could probably do mathematical equations in terms of the how much the heart has to pump and weight and all of that stuff. But I don't know. I'm sure Paley knows. And this has been around for what, 40 years, 45 years?
Something like that.
So now you're probably, it's in the medical world, that's still not very long.
Right.
So you need to see some longer data and then compare them to people who didn't get it done. But then what's your control group? Because what, acromegaly? I don't know. So, I'm not sure how you would answer that question, but a lot of people smarter than me probably could.
I think I just got to pull from my knowledge from the surgeon interviews that I've done, and they've actually been asked this question before, and most of the surgeons say that no. They say no, long term it has no long term effect because your body does, have the ability to create new blood vessels, and it's very adaptive to this process. The bone itself, once it regrows, it still undergoes remodeling like any other bone. You may get the regulation of your metabolism might up-regulate a little bit because there is new tissue to feed that, at least short term for like a 2-year time period. But after that, your body is very efficient, right? So for example, me right now, I've been doing cardio for the last 6 months, right? Sometimes my heart rate drops to like 37, 38 at night. My Apple Watch is like, your heart rate dropped below 40 at night. It's like, oh, okay. So because exactly, I was like, did I die for a second? It's because I've been doing cardio. I'm very cardiovascular fit. So my body has adapted to my heart is very efficient right now. But if I get into the off season and I start eating donuts and pizza again, I'm just kidding. Then the couch potato in me is going to come out, and basically my heart rate will be like 75 at night. No, so basically I just think that it goes to show you that long term, no. Short term, it probably will have like an upregulation of some of the biofactors. So
interesting question. But that's probably one of your control groups.
That's so true.
Stuff like that, because now you're still talking about pumping the more tissue, even though you're not pumping more up and down.
Yep.
It still has to do some more work. Interesting.
Yeah, I think
I want to do a paper on that.
You know what? It's like, man, there's so much research that I'd love to do in this, and I think I should create Cyborg Labs. Like, just talk to some internship group from some university and say, hey, let's start doing some research on limb lengthening, because it's where the future is going. And I don't think it'd be very hard for me to do with getting them, because they just want to get some publications going. And I was like, I have the platform. We can get you guys some notoriety. Aiden, what's going on, brother?
Hey, Victor, how you doing? Can you hear me?
Yeah, man. Oh, man, this guy, he just broke 5 centimeters. Well, you're 5.3?
5.4, yeah.
5.4 centimeters, man. He's over 2 inches taller already, man. You guys don't remember. It was only a couple months ago he started his lengthening. Was it May 31st, May 30th?
It was May 21st, yeah.
May 21st, okay. May 21st he started, so just 2 months ago, he started his femur lengthening surgery, and now he's over 2 inches taller, and he's on the road to 8 centimeters. I mean, Aiden, do you have, how are you feeling right now? Do you have any like crazy pain, or is things kind of like on cruise control for you?
No, I think I'm in the honeymoon phase, man. No pain. I do have a little bit of, I call it bone pain. Mm-hmm. I do have a lot of bone growing, so when I squeeze my quads, it hurts a little bit once it rubs the muscle, but it's not really like a pain all the time. It's only when I'm doing PT that I'm squeezing my my quads that I feel a little bit of pain from the sternum side, but it's not. Yeah.
Join again, because I think that there's some sort of reverb happening on your audio. It's weird. I don't know what's going on, man.
My bad. I'll log in again.
Okay. I swear, this live streaming software, I've tried some of the best, so don't blame me. I've paid for the best, and they don't work. But this one, it's like every time somebody joins, it's like it messes up with the audio. I don't know. if anybody has a recommendation for good live streaming, I'm not trying to do the OBS stuff. I'm not that technical. But anyway, all right, he's coming back on. I want to hear his update, and we'll keep
it made me feel better to see you giggling too. I was like, hey man, I'm so juvenile. I need to grow up.
I'm sorry.
Now you're laughing as well.
I'm a geek. I'm a nerd, man. I would laugh at that all day. All right. Well, he's coming back on. We got this question from Froggy Dragon, my guy. He's saying, hey, Vic, any femur patients regret not going full quadrilateral and saving time? Most people do it after a few years, but have you heard of people have just that regret? That's so crazy, because that's the guy who was pretty much consulting with me yesterday. He's like, should I do it at the same time, both the femurs and the tibias, or should I just go for the femurs? And he had the money, he had the resources, he had the help, he had all that, he had the time, blah, 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 blah. And I said, if that's the case, in the ideal world, you should go for both, because of what he was saying to me. It's not like you should just go for both and get his max height. No, I didn't care. It was basically he wanted max. He wanted a dramatic change in his height. And I was like, well, you know, as much height as you can get, which is going to be like 4 inches, maybe 4.5, maybe 5 if you're lucky at the same time, then that will give you the dramatic change you want and you won't regret it. Because I think the biggest thing that people fear is that if they get one done, they blend back into normal life enough that they won't have that drive to come back, right? And I think I've seen that. Yes, I have seen that. And then they regret it and then they want to come back. Not regret it, but they feel maybe a little bit of height greed, maybe a little bit of regret, and they just come back, right? So yes, Froggy Dragon, absolutely. That is absolutely true.
So a couple of things. So I thought Dr. A was saying that about 10% of people come back.
Well, that's maybe of his patients. I've talked to patients from every clinic. I don't know who he talks to, but
like most people come back and do tibia?
No. So he's right. The people who come back maybe 10%, 15%, but like the people who he's saying like who regret it, like
got it.
Yeah. So who have that regret, and I think it's way higher. I think it's like probably in that 30% range if I were to be rough estimating it, because, and again, they don't always come back and do it. They just say, oh, I wish I would have done more, because then now they blend back into normal life, the responsibilities pile up, and it's like, darn, I can't really go back right now, or they're saving up, or they're waiting for a new nail, and then it's like 4 or 5 years pass and they're like, I'm okay, you know. So that's where that happens. So you're right, Dr. A may be right about that percentage about who comes back, but I think that the ones who want to come back and didn't,
So then it makes me wonder, so what stopped you from coming back?
Well, that I believe it. I believe that they scratched enough of the itch. It's almost like if you have a really bad itch on your leg at night, like you scratch some of it, but then there's a little bit left. You want to scratch more of it, but you're like, I can go back to sleep now. It's kind of like that. It's like, you know, it's like, all right, I can live with that. Or it's like if you have a lot of pain, you take some pain meds, and you're like, that's tolerable. I can handle that. I can manage that. I can go to sleep. But if it's waking you up at night and it's like keeping you alert, like you got to do something to kind of quell that. So it's all about dampening the signal that's not those gnawing thoughts. So okay, this one's for you, MD. If I'm being honest, he's just saying I'm doing limb lengthening for the social benefits, not just myself. Okay, that's fair. I'm glad you're being honest about that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Football clips, very important. This is not only for attracting the ladies, that's right. More importantly, for overall quality of life, and even as far as men goes, you will earn respect easier. That's very true. Yeah, look, you just named like 3 different benefits, 3 different versions of ROI, return on investment for the surgery. So there you go, right there. I'm glad you contributed with that. Gomax is saying, in the end, humans are animals. The one who seems more powerful gets more opportunities. Look at that. You guys have some fantastic comments today. Football clips. How does the Paley Institute go about quadrilateral lengthening? So I think Dr. Paley kind of like standardized how people do quadrilateral lengthening, this safe approach. He's kind of, you know, advanced and pioneered this field. He's like trailblazer. So he likes to do the tibias first. If you're doing it at the same time, he likes to do the tibias first, and 3 or 4 weeks later do the femurs, just because of, one, the tibia heals slower, but also it's easier to get the nail in to the femur if you do the tibia first. Because if you do the femur first, it's very hard to bend your knee to get the tibia in properly. So that's what Dr. Robbins has said in the past. So if you do it a year apart, it doesn't really matter which one you go for, because you can usually recover enough to do either. So okay, I go for a consultation. Bobby Jones, the legendary amateur golfer, is confused with Robert. Okay, people are just talking. I got to find the questions. All right, how much are you gaining? Okay, they're talking to each other. Okay, sorry. Oh, I like that, James. Best to surround yourself with open-minded people when it comes to this. So if you're trying to convince your family and friends, it's very true. Because I actually talked to another guy, I think he's international in Australia or something like that, and he had to convince at first he tried to convince his mom and then I think his stepdad or whoever, and it's like, it was very hard. And then it said his stepdad or his dad was convinced, and then he helped convince the mom, and it was kind of like a familial family feud. It was kind of weird, but it worked out in the end. And if you don't have that support, it gets really hard. It gets really dicey, and you can strain relationships.
That's the cool thing about being older. I don't have to
you don't have to care about any of that.
I have a suggestion for this. I would say show them your documentaries.
That's true.
Once Victor is in, or in some videos that Victor is in.
I have said that. I said that one way they asked me, how can I help convince them? I said that 1 or 3 ways you can really do that is, 1, you can share some of my videos and interviews that I've done with surgeons and patients, maybe the ones that are really compelling or convincing. 2, you could share the ones, you could talk to other patients and have them hopefully converse with those people. Or 3, you have to kind of get into that salesman mentality where you have to really be, convincing enough and have that conviction to sell them. So, okay, Aiden is back on. Hey, Aiden. You're here? Oh, you're muted. There you go. Oh, now you're muted again. It's weird. Okay, I've been thinking about the procedure for over 3 years before I finally decided to move forward with it. Yeah, see, MD, you were right. People don't just snap their fingers and do it, but they do. But yeah, most people think about it. All right, just cranking through these. Froggy Dragon, my family all of a sudden wants me to go full quadrilateral. That caught me off guard. So that's okay. Now this is a really interesting. I was getting ready for femurs only. Now I have to let Paley know by tomorrow. Let's vote. Should I do full quad? Okay, so what's your height? Froggy, we're going to make you decide today on the stream. We're going to pick your fate for you. So how tall are you? What was your minimum height goal? And what is your benefit that you want to get out of this? Because I think you said, I think we've talked before, I think you do have a family, you have things going for you, but like, what's your height goal and what are you looking to get out of it? Is it social respect, or just you want to feel better about yourself, or do you want to see a dramatic increase in height?
Can I throw in a question too?
Yeah, go ahead.
What does his family want him to get out of this?
Oh, that's a fantastic question. What does your family want? Why do they want you to go full quad? There you go. Yeah. Answer those questions in the chat, and then you'll be the ending comment.
And I'm curious how old he is.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if he wants to say, but I'm curious.
And Vita's saying, man, well, think about it. Is 1 inch worth it to you? For me, proportions are very important, which is why I would go full quad. Yeah. And look, Vita, like I said to that other patient I was consulting with the other day, I think it was with his mom. I said, in an ideal world, if you have the resources, the time, the money, I think that quadrilateral lengthening is the best thing you can do. You keep better biomechanics, better proportions, and you get more overall height, right? And you can get it all done at once. You consolidate it. Now, if you want maximum height, you have to spread it out. But I still think quadrilateral lengthening is better. You're going to be happier, because Johannes just sent me a video today, and I don't know if I'm going to spoil the surprise, but he's thinking about calves, tibias. And you guys know he did a lot on his femurs. So he said for proportions and biomechanics, although he was shadow boxing looking like an MMA fighter. So there are things that kind of people who, I don't want to say the word regret, I don't want to say height greed, because he's tall, he's over 6 foot, he's like 6'1" now. But there's one of those 3 aspects, whether it's proportions, biomechanics, or more height, that really drive people back to get quadrilateral lengthening done. So usually if you get it done in the first place, you can resolve that and nip it in the bud. So, all right. All right, Aiden's coming back on here. Hey, Aiden, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, it sounds much better now. You got like a professional broadcast mic now? What do you got going on there?
No, I switched to my laptop.
Okay.
I was on my phone earlier, but I guess I had the AirPods.
Okay, that might be what it is. See, I was thinking about using my AirPods, but I think they have some sort of like reverb.
Yeah, definitely, because I think it's my second time it happens with you. So I'll skip the AirPods next time.
Okay, cool, man. Yeah, so you were saying real quick, I want to finish your update. So 5.4 centimeters, over 2 inches within 2 months. Feeling pretty good. You said you have some bone pain because of the bone growth, but no real nerve pain, right?
No nerve pain. I am taking the gabapentin because I had like a little sensitivity on my chin like about a month ago. So they put me on it. I'm taking only 2 pills a day. But it hasn't progressed from that. It's a light sensitivity to the touch on the chin. I took it as a warning in case nerve pain shows up, but it hasn't. So I mean, I've been doing everything, stretches, everything, and it hasn't. It hasn't.
Hasn't shown. What's wrong with your chin? What is it?
A little bit of sensitivity, like to the touch.
Sensitivity on your like, is it like here in this area?
I'm sorry, I'm below the knee. I'm sorry.
Oh, your shin.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, I'm sorry. It's just the I couldn't hear the. Okay, got it. And it's in the front of the shin, right?
Yeah. Below the knee. Once you start feeling something like that, usually it's a sign. But I've had it for a month, and it's not even numb yet. It's like usually they say once it gets numb and you feel like tingling, that's a sign of nerve pain. But they put me on the GABA just in case. But
okay.
I don't have any pain.
That's so cool, man. You're crazy. Yeah, unlike your lengthening twin, man, he's going through it. Is he still feeling his nerve pain, Aaron?
He's doing so much better.
Okay.
Yeah, man, he's back. He's a fighter, man. So man, he'll do good. He's doing really good, man.
How's his lengthening? He was a few days behind. Is he back up to speed?
He's back up. Yeah, he's back up. He started. He was doing some. I think there was like a TV station the other day here, so he was doing like an interview.
Yeah. Brett sent me that because he was a former Paley patient. He sent me the link. He's like, "Look at this. West Palm Beach TV just did something for Aaron," and I saw it. Paley and Aaron were in that video.
Yeah, that's my boy Aaron, man.
He's making nightly news now. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So cool, man.
He's doing really good. He's doing really good. He already went through the grinder, as I told him, like the nerve pain thing.
Yeah.
He went through it. He got a stable now, so he's good, man. He's back. Yeah.
I love to hear that. I love to hear that, man. You guys started at the same time. A little bit of a hiccup. It's like a little pit stop. But he's back on the road. That's cool, man.
Yeah. That's how it is. I didn't hear the whole thing, man, but I think I heard PsychMan a little bit of what he said. And let me tell you, my brother, 3 inches of height is a lot, bro. Look. I'm only 5. I was 5'3", 5'4", right around there. So I'm only 2 inches taller, and man, I feel it. Oh my God, I feel it. Like I don't know how to explain it to you. It's a lot, and you're blessed because you're 5'5", man. And you get 3 inches, you're gonna feel like a giant.
That is so interesting because I'm like, oh my gosh, this other guy's starting at 5'7". Jeez, what a giant! Wow.
Yeah. Look, man, everybody is different for everybody. Like Victor said, 5'9", they make it to 6 foot. Everybody's got like another level to go. But just the feeling of being taller than where you've been before in your whole life is amazing. I'm not even there yet, man. I'm just experiencing these 2 inches. Because Victor knows Angelique, I was talking to her the other day, and after I finished talking to her, I'm standing on my walker. I just realized, man, I'm talking to her eye to eye. I don't have to look up anymore, and I'm starting to get those experiences now. I see a lot of people that I used to see the word like tall. Now I'm talking to them, eye to eye. It's like it's unbelievable. Like, and I still got 1 more inch to go, so I can't wait to be done with that one to see the final result, But yeah, it is amazing. It is amazing.
I am unbelievably happy for you because it's like that's why I love. I mean, you got to think about it. Like the patients that I've talked to who do this, consult with email, messages, comments. When you hear them like why they want to get taller, and then all of a sudden when they're going through it and they're seeing the benefit, they're eyeing up and matching up the height with other people. And this is not only just now. He's just going through it. He has more to go. But people who are they're finished with it, and they see people who they've seen in their past, like brothers, fathers, family members who they always look down on them. Now they can look at them eye to eye, or business partners or colleagues or whatever. The world changes. It's so powerful. And I'm telling you right now, that's why this procedure is transformative. But like, I'm telling you, there's a lot of dirtiness in this industry and we got to clean it up. But like, people are getting hurt out there with those inexperienced, questionable clinics. And I'm telling you, you do it the right way, you help the cause. And that's why I'm trying to do this platform. It's like spreading awareness, because it's like, if you do it the right way, great. We make this procedure more evergreen, which means it has a long-term future, a longevity, right? But the sooner that people keep deeming it like barbaric, or oh, you're gonna walk like Frankenstein, or you're gonna live like your life like a crippled, then it hurts us and it makes us kind of shun from it, right? So, but man, Aiden, that's so powerful to hear you say that,
Now
man.
that you said that, I saw a guy yesterday.
Yeah.
When I was getting my X-rays, he's one of the PMAX people that was coming to get the rods out. So he did the full A.
PMAX. Yeah.
He was talking to me about the whole story, man. He was so happy because he says I was walking since day one. You know, he did really good. He did the full A, and he came to get the rods out. And the way his face, like his eyes lit up, talking about they knew him. Like he was showing me, oh look at my proportions, look at my. He was doing like squats and doing all of that, and that makes me realize how fortunate we are to have Victor here, because if you go to the right place, man, that's the result that you're gonna get. You know,
Absolutely.
like that guy looked like he has never had a surgery. Like he looked completely perfect, man. You know, and just a year after, he's getting his rods out. You know.
It's like that. It's fast. And I agree with you. Look, there's a lot of good surgeons that can do this. You just got to pick one of them. And, you know, unfortunately, there's some clinics that are just heavier on the marketing, heavier on like they have a good way to spread their information. And I'm not saying that they're, but they do need to kind of pick up the slack in certain areas that some patients have complications where they're simple complications, right? That lead to serious complications. But you're right. Like to hear that from that guy, I wish I would be talking to him to hear his ROI and his benefit. But like you just said it, like you got the vibe that he had. He's super happy with his decision, right?
Yeah. He was. My son was there too, because my son wants to get it done sometime in the future. So he's like, oh, he was seeing himself in the mirror with the guy, you know, like talking about it, and he did the full A. He was a taller guy too, so we were talking about the proportions, but he looked great, man. Even that he did the full A on his femurs,
it looked good.
The proportions were real good, really good. Kind of like Rich, you know, Rotella, like.
Yeah. And that's what I have to tell people, because they always wonder, like, will the 8 look too much? I say on 85-90% of people's structure, no, it won't look bad. It looks fine. Some people, yeah, if you already have a longer femur, depending on your torso length, there's a few people that, you know, you're a little bit blockier, your structure is a little different, and it might look a little bit funny, but those people are few and far between. So you just got to kind of know what your structure looks like. And, you know, but most people with normal clothing, it doesn't.
Most people would not be a notice at all. Like within 8 centimeters, like it's like Paley said before, like within 8 centimeters, you look normal, you know.
Absolutely. And I think that you think about it, it's like 3 inches, massive height increase, proportions are still good, complications are usually kept at bay if you work hard at PT. It's like that 8 centimeters kind of capped off for a reason, you know, for multiple reasons. So
if you prepare ahead good enough, you have a really good shot of having a nice smooth ride, you know.
You got it.
It makes a lot of difference.
Yeah, absolutely. So this question, so this was from Froggy Dragon. So he's saying his on July 11th, he I think that's July, or 7/11. Okay, he's saying either 7 centimeters on his femur only, so or 11 centimeters for the full quadrilateral lengthening. Is that a good goal for a 45-year-old guy? He's 169.5 centimeters starting height. So if you gain 7 centimeters, you'd be 176.5, basically 177. That is about a little over average height. I think it's like 5'10", 5'9", 5'10", 5'9" and a half, 5'10". And I think you're break. So that's basically you going from what, 5'7",
5'6" and a half.
5'6" and a half to 5'9" and a half, 3 inches, right? So you'd gain 3 inches. So that puts you at below average. It's 3 inches.
5'6" and 3/4 is. I'm sitting here with the calculator.
Okay.
9.5.
Okay. So that's basically below average to average height. Okay. So you would be average in terms of height status in the United States, or 11 centimeters for the full quadrilateral lengthening, which would put you above average.
5'11".
And yeah, so that would be 5'11". Yeah. So that's the height that I just really want to be. But I think that 5'11", like being that height with shoes, I mean, you'd be close to 6 foot. It puts you in a whole different height class. So it's like, if your family is supporting it, this is my take. We're going to go around the panel here. Everybody's going to give their take, okay? I'm going to go first. All right. but don't let me have a heavier yield weight in this. If your family's supporting it, you have the money, you have the time, and they're going to be willing to help you out, and you're getting it done. I think you said with Paley or a good surgeon. Why not? Right? Like, why not? I think that getting quadrilateral lengthening, you're going to be overall. I think, yeah, you work out and stuff, so that biomechanically, you're going to be better off. Proportionally, even though 7 centimeters, like Aiden said, is not going to be a big deal, you're still going to have better proportions because it's going to be a more natural proportion interlimb ratio. And then height, you get more height, right? So there's really no negative. The only negative is that you have a potential risk of the tibia healing a little slower. But if your family is supporting it, you have that support system in place, it really does negate a lot of those cons. So MD, what's your take on this? And then we'll go around the panel, and then we'll answer the last few questions before I got to go.
I mean, why not more? Just space it apart and go for the full 8+5 or 8+6. So
I love it.
Just go more. I mean, I mean, you can't do it if you're gonna just space it apart and go for more. Is my thing. So
yeah,
that's what I'm doing. So yeah,
that's cool. Okay, what do you think, Aiden? And then PsychMan, I want to get your take.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm here. I'm watching this every day happening, right? So I see guys doing quads, and I see us doing just the femur. Man, quads are hard. The people who do the tibias and the femurs at the same time is very tough. The likelihood to get 11 cm is very unlikely, to be honest, man.
It's
especially for 45 years old. I'm in my 40s. I know how it feels. I would do 8 on the femurs. Even 7 is a lot of height. I gotta talk to you about this, Victor, because I think we do get more height when they straighten the femur bone besides the 8. We'll talk about this then later.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
There's a consistency. A couple of us, we are like about 1 centimeter extra than what the nails distracted. And I have a theory that it might be because the femur bone is curved naturally when you see it from the side view.
So you're saying you get more height or less height?
More height, yeah. I think you get an extra centimeter when you get the femur bone straightened out, for sure. Because
when it straightens out, yeah.
When they put the rod in,
yep.
Then when you see your bone again from the side view, it's completely straight versus the natural curve.
Yeah. The anatomical axis does line up a little bit depending on how they do it. Yeah, absolutely. And I think it depends on the patient's hips, hip girth and all that. There's a lot of different factors.
3 of us we're talking about this. Like we all have a consistency of 1 centimeter more than what we should have. And
wow.
I feel like that's happening
otherwise.
Like I don't know. I haven't measured probably because I get the measurements wrong, but I feel like I'm taller than the 7.
Yeah, for sure. I
don't know what's going on. So but
it's possible.
But my crutch height is right now 5'10", and I can't reach it anymore. I can no longer. I can't use my crutches anymore because they don't fit. I need tall people crutches. So if I started at 170, I don't know how it's possible.
It is. I've been measuring myself. My son's helping me. Like I've been measuring me like for years, man. Legit, like to the exact millimeter, And I'm a full centimeter over, man. There's no way to explain that. And same is happening to Aaron. Same is happening to all the female twin here. So
that's crazy.
Maybe
fashion nails, maybe. Who knows?
I know they have like a secret, like little extra height boost in there. That's insane.
No, the nail has distracted. They measure what the nail has distracted is the same as my ERC. However, my height is 1 centimeter over. And when I look at my X-rays, you look both before and after. You see that bone. It was curved naturally, and then you see it's completely straight. And if you take those measurements into account, it gives you like from 0.7 to 0.10 millimeters once the curve is straight.
Guess we'll have to find out about that. That's interesting.
For Froggy Dragon, that he wants to do 7, he'll do 7, and he'll come out really happy. He'll be fully 3 inches taller, man.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's a full 3 inches. There you go. So Aiden saying 3 for him. MD saying split it up and go for quad. I say quad at the same time if you're really willing to go through a hard time or a short time, and then you'll be okay. PsychMan, what's your take on that? We're gonna answer the last few.
There's a lot of ambivalence here. So I really want to talk to this guy because there's if he's got some family support, and anybody knows that 11 is a bigger number than 7, and he said he's got the resources, and there's still questions, something else is going on here. It's not that simple of a should I do it. So can't say there. I'd love to talk with him.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's a lot of different things that come up about that. But overall, I do think that, long term, and like I said, in an ideal world, quadrilateral lengthening usually beats out bilateral lengthening without a doubt. It's just it's like basically if you take, me, like I said, I'm an anime fan. It's like Dragon Ball Z. It's like a base form versus Super Saiyan, right? It's like the Super Saiyan form is going to beat the base form all the time. But, there's certain things that the base form is less stressful. You can, you're chill, right? It doesn't drain as much energy while you're doing it. So, so we'll see. I think we can, so Froggy, we gave you our 4 points. We have 2 people saying quad, 2 people saying bilateral.
For the record, I'm in favor of quad. It's just not at the same time. Like
right, not at the same time. Okay,
a year or so in between. That's perfect. But
okay,
so it's tough, man.
So there you go, Froggy. So MD and Aiden are saying if you can split it up, go for that. Obviously, that would be the best. But like, you said, you have family, you have this, that, responsibilities. Considering real world, I think it would be easier to consolidate because it's like one and done. And that's what I was talking to that guy consulting with him and his mom yesterday. It's like one and done will be easier for him because he has like a busy career and stuff like that. It's like you got to think about real world. But in an ideal world, what they said is 100% true. So it really depends. All right, so let's go through a couple more of these real quick. Even if it took 10 years from my life, I'd rather be 70 years old with a higher life quality of life than 80 with a low quality of life, because that's just my opinion. Okay, let me just make sure that we get to the questions here. So I only have a few minutes. Got to get going.
The man needs his chicken.
Oh yeah, no, I'm gonna get chicken from I get that from Restaurant Depot.
Oh, okay.
But I do get. I'm gonna go there tomorrow because I got to get some more chicken for the next contest. So I guess coming up. So I go through like 40 pounds of chicken in like 3 weeks. I eat like a little farm every month.
Biggest threat to chickens in the world.
I know, man. I feel so bad. I'm like the cyborg chupacabra. Let's see. Family's all girls. Okay, so he's saying my family's all girls, taller girls. Now they support me fully. All of a sudden, and decided and are trying to convince me to go full 12 centimeters. They said that they would not regret doing. I would not regret doing full. Okay, so if they're saying that split it up and they're willing to support you in that, then that's what Aiden and MD are saying. PsychMan kind of say the same thing, and I agree with that the most, right? So if they're willing to go that route,
It gave me more questions because now I'm going, why all of a sudden? What's in it about that? What's the change?
I know.
That's PsychMan being PsychMan.
Vita, where's Aiden lengthening at Paley? Aiden, that's for you, Aiden?
Yes, Paley, South Florida.
Aiden, he said, listening to you gets me all pumped. He loves you. You're his. That's what I was saying. Like, you guys joining the show, you guys don't understand how powerful it is when you contribute and you just lend your voice and come on, because you now have fans. You have super fans. Like, there's people in my emails that have said, like, oh, when's Aiden come back on our, like, Aaron, he's so meticulous with like his planning and stuff like that. Every single one, like, there's been comments about it, right? Like, that's why this is, like I said, it's way bigger than me. It's like, it's a platform for patients. It's this patient-centric channel. So thank you all. Okay.
I'm gonna do one better. I'm gonna send Victor some pictures that I have of the before and after that I'm getting with the people, so you can see what I'm talking about.
You sent me some of those too. Yeah, at the very end, that'll be so powerful, man. I can't wait. I'll add it to the
from this weekend.
Okay.
Yeah, some of my family members, and even I got some good reactions. So I'll send them to you so you can post them up. All
right, sounds good. Okay. The last couple questions. Is it possible to do 6 centimeter femurs and 4 centimeter tibia at the same time? Usually it works out. And after full recovery, like 3 to 4 days, you come back and try to push another 5 centimeters forward. That could be possible. I've heard, double quad. Brett has done something close to that. I think he's done like 8 and 8 or 4 and 4 and then 4 and 4 or something close to it. But what you're saying, possibly, but that'd be some really long legs. So I don't know. Then your proportions would be, you know, kind of out there. But yeah, you could definitely do the first one. The second one, maybe pushing it a little bit, but possibly. All right. I'm willing to contribute to the stream once I start my lengthening journey. Awesome, man. Looking forward to it. Art Y, 35 years. I know, right? 35 years old, looking to lengthen 8 centimeters in the femur. Is that realistic at Paley's or the other popular surgeons in the U.S.? Yeah, all the surgeons in the U.S. could do that for you. So just got to prepare properly, like Aiden says. Make sure you just try to do your stretching ahead of time. And if the clinic you're going to doesn't have PT weaved in, well, we are going to be coming out with a recovery resource that will help out with that. But if not, then you should try to find there's virtual PTs that we can connect you with. But PT is very important. That's one thing that, you know, that's why Aiden, you know, like there's a few clinics in the US that, like, I think Baltimore, Paley's, have the PT really weaved in really well, right? That you have to understand that that's really important. Some places they refer you out. You got to be careful with that, because some of those clinics are, the surgeon may be good, but the PTs they refer you out to, they may not be as experienced, and they may not know stretches or rehab exercises that are safe for you. And they could either damage the implant, break the crown, or stretch you too hard, too little. It's just, you're not going to get that efficiency. So, why everybody recommends Paley compared to the other top surgeons in the U.S. He's like 10 to 50. Yeah, the reason why, Mabubian, LA, no, Mabubian's great. Like, the thing is, Paley is kind of like the gold standard, right? Like, you can't, he kind of brought so Mabubian, right? You want to talk about Mabubian? Paley kind of brought it to the U.S. He taught Rosberg, who was his fellow. Rosberg taught Mabubian. So there you go. It's like the tree of life, right? Like, you know, so everybody kind of branches from the Paley tree. So that's kind of why we talk about his name like that, because it's like the gold standard. But yeah, there's other surgeons in the U.S. There's Baltimore, like I said, Conway, Oseag. You got HSS, Reef, Rosbrook. Mabubian's on the West Coast. You got W. Prashad in Vegas. You got there's lots of surgeons. There's new surgeons that are popping up all the time, but I don't have enough like kind of like patients who have gotten it done there to kind of like confidently say that, you know, they have a good track record of success yet. So, but I've heard of some names that are coming up. So
go to Baltimore. I mean, if it was US, I would definitely go to Baltimore.
Yeah, Baltimore. No, there's a lot of patients there a lot of the time. Like, you know, they have like little HP house. It's crazy.
Yeah, the HP house is definitely like, even if I couldn't do it in Canada, I would, if I had to go to US, it kind of equals out because HP house is cheap. It's only like $10 because I like to say the word cheap.
I like to say the word affordable, because cheap means internationally getting.
No, the HP house, not the surgery.
Okay, yeah.
Housing is cheap.
Got it.
Affordable.
Okay. Right. All right. Yeah. Okay. I'm just trying to get through. I don't want to leave any questions because I know that people get pissed and they're like, "You don't answer my question." Yeah. In your opinion, you get what you pay for. If you guys see any questions, let me know. Let's see. Playing with your health is like, I believe, priceless. You want to be in the best hands possible, Froggy. What's going on is that I found out about their full support yesterday, so it's a little shocker. That is a little shocking. You might have to sit on that one over the weekend, but you have to let Paley know by tomorrow, or the Paley team. Man, I don't know. That's a flip of a coin. I don't know.
Oh, it's killing me.
He says, "Thank you all, man." But honestly, we're all feeling that you will be happy with 7, but you'll be happier with 11 or 12. So if that makes any sense of what we're trying to say. So, all right, I think we're approaching the last few questions. Yeah. Okay. Here we go. Okay. I have a question. I want to do the surgery, but my wingspan is shorter than my height. Can I get 7 centimeters divided quadrilaterally? I don't want to look weird. And your voice makes me confident. Yeah. Okay. So, I don't think it would be, you could definitely do 4 and 3, but that's a lot of investment for something you could do all in one and not have that much affect you long term. So I personally say that isn't worth it to do it, and your proportions wouldn't look that bad unless you have some. But if you're talking wingspan, I don't know. People say that, and then when I look at their pictures, I'm like, what are you talking about? So it's like, if you want to kind of do a consult with me and send me some of your images when we talk about it, I can give you my assessment, and you'll usually be more confident after that, because people feel like they look a certain way, but they're in their own heads. So I don't know. It's my thought. Okay, so I think I got to get ready to go because I pushed a little bit late, and I think Costco closes at 8:30, so it's 7:55 here. It's like, man, are you on the East Coast too?
Yeah.
You are? Yeah, it's 8. Well, Aiden's on the East Coast. It's going to go. So, all right. Oh, look at that Froggy Dragon. I'll do quad for you then. More content for you, Vic. Yes, it is. And when you do it, we're going to have a quadrilateral patient. Let's give it up for Frogman. Let's clap for him. I love it. I love it. Nah, man. You freaking love you. No, you got to love these guys. These patients, they're the ones that do it, man. Good luck, Froggy. That's right. Give him good luck. He's going to go for quadrilateral lengthening. He has the support of his family, support of all of us. Cyborg Nation behind you. Oh, man. I mean, I know you, but not in person. Okay, well, that's awesome, man. I appreciate that. I really do. I got a fan too. Yay. All right. Well, it's quad. Yeah, there's our guy above tempo. Good old Brett. Yeah. He sent me that article the other day. Yeah, quadrilateral, the quad team. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining. This was an awesome stream today. We answered the topic of discussion of, what's the ROI and benefits of limb lengthening. I think that there's 2 questions you should answer. It's like, first and foremost, it's like, what is it worth it for you? And then what will you get out of it? And then, we just kind of answer some questions in here. We have PsychMan. Thank you so much for coming on and contributing, man. It's always a pleasure to have you on. MD, keep those videos posted. We're going to probably bootstrap them into some sort of playlist at some point. Aiden, you're rocking, man, at 5.4 centimeters on your femurs, well on your way to 8 centimeters. Give my good luck to Aaron. Tell him to keep going, stay strong. And your other female lengthening twin. And then for all you patients in the chat who have contributed and asked amazing questions, thank you all. And until next time, this is Victor from Cyborg for Life, signing out. All right, got to run to Costco. See ya. Peace.
Thank you, guys.